So you just passed your CompTIA Security Plus, but you don't have a job, and worst off is you don't even know where to start looking and how you're basically going to go from where you are right now, which is you have your certification, you don't have your job, to starting your first job in cybersecurity and or the IT industry. So I'm going to walk you through all of this in today's video. I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know, from branding, which is going to be your resume, your LinkedIn, your cover letter, how are you going to generate these interviews, how are you going to go about interviewing for these roles, how are you going to go ahead and manage the offer process, the onboarding process, and then ultimately what are your next steps after you start your new job, along with some of the challenges that you're expected to go out there and find. My name is Rich. I'm going to walk you through all of this right now. Quickly though, two things. Number one, I'm going to be referencing a lot of resources, and I'm talking about a lot. Everything from the 45-day game plan, going from zero to cybersecurity job, how you're going to go ahead and get all your materials together for your background process. I'm going to be sharing tons upon tons upon tons of resume templates. Okay, this is actually why the link to our Zero to Hero WAP community, which is totally free, and some of the resources have already been in there, I'm moving more in, is all in the description. I suggest you get in there. And if you have additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn handle is also in the description. I'm going to be sharing with y'all LinkedIn skills that you guys absolutely need to go ahead and add into your profile, cover letter templates, okay? How are you going to go ahead and develop a portfolio as a beginner with no experience? And on top of that, interview cheat sheets of the most common questions and answers. How are you going to prepare for these interviews? The job boards where the most cybersecurity jobs, especially for beginners, are at. And then on top of that, what are some of the titles that you actually qualify for? What are their rates? And how do you get these recruiters to go ahead and contact you? I'm going to be sharing you all of this information, so get ready to go ahead and strap in, okay? Now, starting with this, who am I? My name is Rich. I'm a tech and AI career coach. I help people basically make this transition. Currently, right now, I have a huge wait list for my career coaching program, helping cybersecurities make this transition. But in the meantime, you can go ahead and get on that wait list right here in Zero to Hero. And also, hopefully you land your job before you even need to go ahead and talk to somebody on my team or myself. But I'm going to be walking you through the entire 45-day game plan. It can honestly happen that quickly. I just need you to go ahead and focus on this, because it's going to be as simple as phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and basically all the subsequent steps on the bottom. So hang tight. Let's go ahead and get you this job and make 2026 your best year ever. So for starters here, let's talk about where you're at. You passed your CompTIA and you're here at phase 0. The next thing that you need to go ahead and do is basically branding, which is your resume, LinkedIn, cover letter, and your portfolio. You need these 4 things before you can go ahead and start applying and interviewing. If you start applying without a decent looking resume, LinkedIn, or cover letter, and you don't have your portfolio ready, all you're going to do is just get yourself back into, keep yourself basically here in phase 1, and you can't go ahead and advance. So let's go ahead and focus on this. But before we even go ahead and focus on phase 1, let's go ahead and dial it back just for a hot second. You are here right now because chances are there's only 3 ways you could pass the CompTIA Security Plus. Number 1, you studied for it on your own. Congratulations, you're a genius. Most people can't even do it with help. If you actually did it on your own, kudos to you. You are an outlier. Number 2, you have completed a cybersecurity bootcamp. Number 3, you graduated with a bachelor's degree in some kind of cybersecurity degree, an IT degree, or some kind of related field. Either way, what you guys are going to go ahead and find is there were a lot of challenges that you had to encounter to go ahead and get your security plus passed and out of the way. But now you guys are facing trouble. And that trouble is you don't know where to begin, because most people here, they don't want to go ahead and help you out on the job hunt. This is basically where I come in. Now, there's 2 options here that are very common If you're on Instagram as much as I am, you'll probably see two major resources or constant floating ads. Number one is going to be her, which is Simone B's, okay? And then number two, you're gonna have basically, you're gonna have this guy named Cydio, or I think his name, I don't know these two people, but I think his name is actually Kuzman, or the name of the company is called Cydio. And what these two people are gonna go ahead and argue is that you don't have a job because you only have the certification and you don't have actual hands-on experience. I'm not saying there's 100% right, but I'm also not going to say they're 100% wrong either. Regardless, you need a job right now. The last thing you probably want to do here is actually develop more skills, or like you probably want to go out there and start earning some cash already, right? So let's go ahead and keep this thing very focused, because I'm going to walk you through the overall game plan right now. The first thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and update your resume. And the easiest thing that you can do to update your resume is grab one of these resume templates that we have right here. They're all standard one-page resume templates I have right now that I'm showing you at the top of my screen. There's 10 templates. I've even added like different fonts that's actually really easy to read for recruiters. And you know, you can go out there and basically find all of that right here in Zero to Hero. Very, very, very simple. Get your current information onto the resume template. The next thing that you need to go ahead and do is you need to go ahead and update your LinkedIn profile. And to update your LinkedIn profile, I'm just going to go ahead and add a few steps here. It's not that difficult. The first thing you can do to score a win is update your photo. You can just go ahead and use AI to go out there and do it. There's actually a free AI app. It's called Geo. Use that and just update your photo. Remove the open to work sign because it makes you look really desperate. Okay. Clean up the descriptions. Okay. And among other things, add the buzzwords. So at the very bottom, and I'll tell you why your LinkedIn is going to be very important. Your LinkedIn is very important because you want to go ahead and be visible to actual recruiters online. Okay, you want to be actually visible. In order for them to go ahead and find you, there is a section. I'm going to go back to my LinkedIn profile right now. At the very bottom, you will go ahead and see a list of skills and endorsements that you can go out there and add. Currently right here, I have 50. For some people's profile, they can basically add more. Some people, they basically add less. But there's currently 50 down here. I have gathered a list of skills for you. Now, these are the top 25 you can go out there and add. But I would go out there and advise you to go down to basically here where you have the following. You have some of these relevant skills, but you also have tools. Now, tools are going to go ahead and actually do you a solid, like Splunk, Nessus. Add whatever it is that you can go ahead and actually talk about and just load it up as much as possible because it's going to go ahead and help the algorithm come and find you. The next thing that you want to go ahead and do after that is you want to have your cover letter done. Cover letter is optional. Most of the time, they won't read it. But the times that they do read it, you kind of want something. Or if they ask for it, you want to have something ready. So I have cover letter template 1, cover letter template 2, cover letter template 3, cover letter template 4, cover letter template 5. These are the 3 baseline things that you need for your branding. And I have some of these resources already right here into Zero to Hero. You just got to go ahead and ask for it. As I mentioned before, we currently have a wait list right now for our career coaching cohort. It's kind of the reason why I'm recording this video. But like, these are the 3 things that you can go out there immediately to just go out there and grab a quick win. The next thing that you want to go ahead and do after that is launch your portfolio. Now, your portfolio can go ahead and account for a few things. Now, why do you want to go ahead and have a portfolio? Let's just take a look. As a beginner cybersecurity or IT beginner resume, you're going to have a 1-pager. This 1-pager here is not sufficient to convey your qualifications, your passion, or your desire to want to join that company. And chances are like it's kind of hard because one page isn't really a whole lot of room. So you want to go out there and have a little portfolio link that's going to actually show all of your skills and then some. Something else that we also have to account for is that when you have a portfolio down here, it's going to make it so much easier for you to go ahead and apply. When you have a portfolio, it's going to make it easier for you to go ahead and interview because you're going to be able to show them skills on the spot. And if they forget your answer, they can go ahead and reference it versus they ask you a question, you don't know how to answer, you cooked. Okay, so you'll go out there and apply and you're like, oh, I'm qualified. But like your resume just doesn't hit the spot because it's only one page. It's a one-page document, right? So what you want to go ahead and do is make sure we start that portfolio. This is actually something that we work on very heavily in our career coaching program, is actually helping you build that portfolio so you can convert those applications into interviews and you can convert those interviews into actual job offers. The next thing here is you want to go out there and start applying. Once you have your resume, your LinkedIn, your cover letter, and your portfolio together, now you can go out there and start applying. Now, little note, you want to keep on updating your resume, LinkedIn, and cover letter, and definitely keep on adding projects onto your portfolio because it's going to make you look way better. But in terms of applying, it's whatever you need to do to get interviews on the books. There's only a few things that you can do. You can go out there and cold apply. You can go out there and apply to a staffing agency. You can go out there and get referrals. We also have referrals in our program. And you can go out there and do networking on your own. Okay. Beyond that, it's going to be doing an internship, which we also have, and converting that internship into an actual full-time opportunity. These are the only things you can do. Apply, staffing agency, referrals, networking, and internships. That's it. There's nothing else. This is all there is to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So beyond that, what do you need to get started? The resume, the LinkedIn, the cover letter, and your portfolio. But more importantly, I'm going to go ahead and actually slide back over here. Okay. I'm going to show you that if you have a portfolio, it's going to be easier. A lot of you don't have a portfolio. And it's very easy for you to do a portfolio either with one of two things. Hack the Box, and you can just start a free Hack the Box account. Or you basically have Try Hack Me. And then you add that basically onto your simple YouTube channel. As you can see here, one of the YouTube topics is like just building a home lab. And you're basically from there, you're good to go. Because regardless if you are cold applying, regardless if you are doing an internship, regardless if you're going through a staffing agency, trying to get hired with referrals, or doing networking, ultimately you're going to have to interview. They're going to want to know you can do the job. And you're going to have to show them something beyond just your resume, LinkedIn, and cover letter. You have to show them your portfolio. There's no other place that's better for your portfolio other than a portfolio website and or YouTube. But let's just assume that you go ahead and you get that done. When you are applying out there, there's going to be a list of roles for you to go after. Number one, you're going to have basically, as a CompTIA Security Plus certification holder, you are entitled, you qualify to go ahead and apply for these roles that you would need an A+, because the Security Plus basically trumps A+ and Network Plus. Okay, you can also apply for these roles. You can apply for these roles. And you can also go ahead and apply for these roles. That's a lot of roles out there. And that means it shouldn't be that difficult for you to go ahead and land a job. But granted, you need the portfolio to go ahead and back yourself up. This is what we spend time on in the program, is to help you build that portfolio. Next thing is, what job boards can you rely on? These are the job boards, which is why you want to head over to the You want to head over here to get access to this. Okay, these are the job boards. But beyond this, right here, the easiest thing that you guys can go ahead and do is just set yourself up an email alert, and then you will be notified every single day that these roles are coming about. Once you actually get the interview, you basically, this is a list of everything that you can do to go ahead and prepare for the interview, which is also something we also focus on heavily in the program. So in the program, we focus on how do you prepare for these interviews, how do you research the companies, how do you research a job description, how do you update kind of like, how do you go out there and prepare for the actual questions. And then before that, you want to let them know you've done your research and this is how you're going to go and this is why you're going to be a good fit. We also have a list of interview cheat sheet. This interview cheat sheet here for beginners where you have an initial first round, second round, third round, and then ultimately we have down here what is like, tell me about yourself, all these different questions, and what are some of the answers into there. So if you have a list of the interview questions, you should be okay to go. Because also, going back to this, I'm sorry for all the swiping and sliding. In order for you to go out there and get this offer, you need to get good at the interview process. In order for you to get good at the interview process, the first thing that you basically need to go ahead and do is you want to go ahead and know all the questions that you're going to be asked, and you want to have some type of reference of how to answer these questions. Now, the next thing is you want to practice those questions. You could either do that in our program through one-on-one coaching, group coaching, mock interview partners, or we also have an AI cybersecurity mock interview partner where you can go out there and get more practice, repetition, so you sound better once you're actually on the phone doing the interview live. The next thing is you got to do the portfolio, and then after that is preparing for the interviews, round 1, 2, 3, 4. After you go ahead and secure your offers, you have, in the next stages, it'll start off with a verbal offer. You negotiate the salary and the package. You sign the offer by both parties. Okay, you do your background check, and then you have your start date. Once you do that, you have your onboarding. Onboarding is day 0 to basically, I shouldn't say day 0. Day 1 to day 30 is your initial onboarding, where they're going to go ahead and train you and get acclimated to all of their systems, make sure you have a laptop and all that other good stuff. Day 31 to day 60, you're basically settling in. Day 61 to day 90, you should be preparing for your next certification, either for your internal promotion up or your external transition out. So you're either moving up or you're moving out. So what are your next steps basically to go ahead and do this? Well, let me go ahead and basically recap this for you. You want to go ahead, get over here to 0 to hero, okay, because some of the resources are already in there, okay. The next thing that you want to go ahead and do is connect with me. But out of all these different things to do, if we were to go ahead and chalk it up into a 45-day timeline, week 1, you can already have your resume, your LinkedIn. This is actually what we do in our program, is week 1 is let's go ahead and get your resume, your LinkedIn, your portfolio, all that other stuff. Let's get that ready, because in week 2, we can basically start getting you applying and start preparing you for the interview. Week 3, we want to ramp up on those applications some more, because by week 4, now we can start interviewing all the way up to 6, 7, and then you basically have week 8, you can make your final push into finally getting this job. So this is the 45-day timeline. We also have application interview targets. If you want to go ahead and score 2 to 3 offers, because you want to go ahead and have some numbers, you should be applying to, I would say, 250 to 300 roles. If you want to guarantee it, I say go for 2,500 to 3,000. You want to know why? Because there's enough roles. So you want to get out of here, right? 2,500 to 3,000 roles, let's get you out. Okay? You have, we have a few different types of schedules right here. And all of this, you can go ahead and basically find in the WAP. But there's a few different schedules where you want to go ahead and work that out. And then ultimately, the other reason why you want to be a part of our career coaching program, which we have a wait list for, we're currently clearing another batch of people to get the job, is the list of affirmations is like, you're going to have to go through some rejections to get this, and it's not going to be fun. But like the way that you have to view it is, you had to go through a lot of challenges to get your Security Plus certification, and you made it all the way through, and we really want to congratulate you on that, because a lot of people, they set that as a goal and they never even start. So the fact that you finish and you pass and you have that digital piece of paper, kudos to you. So to resum it up all over, get on the WAP and let us know you want to be on that wait list so that we can contact you when spots basically open up. But starting the program, the very, very, very first step is, and also something else that you can do, I didn't go through this document yet, but this is called our background check checklist. Now, why is the background check checklist very, very important? Because hiring for cybersecurity roles and IT roles can happen very, very quickly. And a lot of the companies that we actually work with, they hire in batches. And I've seen so many people basically miss out because they don't have their information all together in time. You want to get your government photo like ID, driver's license or passport, get that thing ready to go. Social security card, get that thing ready to go. Proof of eligibility to work, birth certificate and I-9, that ready to go. All this stuff, so when they have to submit your background check, they can go out there and get it done quickly. Because take a look at our roadmap. You're basically doing all of this for here. You want to start with the end in mind. So get your background check documents all ready to go, because now it's like, yo, we got, 20 openings and who's in it? And you actually come through and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where this is, or I don't know where that is. Somebody else is going to go out there and take your spot, right? Because entry-level cybersecurity talent, they hire in batches. Some companies hire one at a time, but a lot of companies also hire in batches. So get into the WAP, get access to some of these resources, but overall, I gave you a lot of information. I'm also going to be subsequently creating a lot more content in this area in every single phase. But phase 1 is branding. This is going to take 1 week to get it done. Phase 2 is applying. And this is actually why in the 45-day roadmap, we basically have this schedule, because you got to kind of get into a cadence. We work with people that come from all different types of backgrounds. Some people are working graveyard shifts. Some people don't have a job. They're very fortunate for those people. This is all they have to focus on. Some people have a full-time job. Some people are driving an Uber. The reality is, you're not going to interview unless you're consistent with all of these different activities. We don't just focus on just 1 or 2 things here. We focus on all 5. And you know your schedule better than anybody else knows their schedule. So you have to create a very consistent schedule of applying in order to generate interviews. And I've noticed a lot of people, where they fail is they don't have a consistent application schedule. So their interview flow is very inconsistent. Some weeks they have 3 or 4 interviews. Some weeks they don't actually have any interviews at all. They feel discouraged, they quit, and they give up. And we need more cybersecurity professionals entering the field right now instead of less people entering the field. After that, you also need to be, in addition to just getting interview coaching, you need to actually know how to practice these interviews. It starts with what? Knowing the questions, knowing how to answer these questions, but practice, 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 practice. I've seen so many people that's done well in our skills program, but because they sounded too nervous, somebody that was kind of average ended up taking the job because they sounded more comfortable and relaxed. You got to understand, desperation is not referable. Communication skills are still very important in this job. Whether you're reporting an incident, you're sending out an email, sending out a Slack message, you need to know how to communicate verbally very efficiently. And that just comes with practice, practice, practice. Then you got, the offer stage, and then we can go out there and do the onboarding, and then we can go ahead and work on your next steps. The other thing that people also don't stress about is cybersecurity is a certification heavy field. There's only 4 quarters, 12 months in a year. That's 4 quarters in a year. That's 52 weeks. if you want to go out there and keep on leveling up your salary and your paychecks, you got to keep on preparing for the next certification. And now that you're fresh from passing your first certification, we need to talk about what's your next one, because you're either going to be moving up internally or you're going to be moving out. But it always starts with getting your next certification. My name is Rich. Please go ahead and get into the WAP. More importantly, send me a connection invite and a message, and let's go ahead and talk about how we can get you your first cybersecurity and IT job after you pass your CompTIA Security Plus. Congratulations for passing again, and I'm going to go ahead and chat with you very, very soon.